I'm in an incredibly awkward situation right now, which is my bed. Awkward? Well, my phone and I are in this situation together. So I just decided to do a quick live about 48 Laws of Power. I think I'm going to do them like segments of them. So here's the book. Here's what it looks like. I hope you guys are amazing. It's by Robert Greene. Okay? Robert Greene. Perfection. Okay. So I did a video about this a while ago. We're gonna do one kind of starting. I'm just gonna start from one, and then do a sort of maybe I will do it like a bedtime series. I'll just like do it from my bedroom. Anyways, I'm taking people's advice about doing things with the channel, and I'll let you know in a little bit how that all goes. Okay, so the first law. Hi, Josh Pittman. The first law of the 48 Laws of Power is never outshine the master. I'm so nervous this is gonna tip over, and it probably will. Just so we all know, it probably will tip over, and that's okay. That's okay. Never outshine the master. Judgment. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please and impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite, inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. Okay, so that's the first little part. I tried to do like my little eye thing. I don't know how it works. Ask me if I care. Okay, so observance of the law. In the early 1600s, bloody, 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 blah. So he talked about, I can't read the whole book to you, obviously. But there is an audio book of it if you don't like to read. But I shouldn't have even told you that. Edit that out. Just kidding. So, image. The stars in the sky can be only one sun at a time. Never obscure the sunlight or rival the sun's brilliance. Rather fade into the sky and find ways to heighten the master star's intensity. So again, like I've talked about this. If you haven't seen the first video about it, I think that this book is polar opposite of Carnegie Mellon's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I mentioned this on a recent podcast that I might bring up. Someone tried to take like a shot at me. I eat quinoa, guys. I might have some in my teeth. On a comment, and they were like, "No wonder you had to read." I did a book review. Excuse me. I did a book review. I did a book review of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Carnegie Mellon. And someone wrote, "No wonder you had to read that book. Like, your personality is so terrible." Whatever it was, right? Like, you're just showing me your ignorance. That book is 100% the opposite of, the title is like very funny. It always makes me laugh because anyone that's read the book, it teaches you that there isn't a way to win or influence people. There's not any hacks or tricks. It teaches you to be a authentic person in business and in life. So back to the polar opposite. This book, I feel like, teaches you how to be manipulative, deleterious to other people, selfish. And I think the last thing this book should ever be applied to is like a personal relationship with another human being that you care anything about. Okay, so the authority. Avoid outshining the master. All superiority is, but superiority of a subject over his prince is not only stupid, it is fatal. This is a lesson that the stars in the skies teach us. They may be related to the sun and just as brilliant, but they never appear in her company. That's a quote from Balthazar. That's a great name, by the way. If I ever had a kid and it's a boy, I'll name him Balthazar, or with a Z. Gracian, 1601 to 1658. So you cannot worry about upsetting every person you come across. You must be selectively cruel. I'm going to read that again. You cannot worry about upsetting every person you come across, but you must be selectively cruel. Cruel. C-R-U-E-L, cruel. There's just one piece of quinoa on a place. I'm embarrassed to get it, so I'm trying to do it with my tongue. Okay. Let's continue. If your superior is a falling star, there is nothing to fear from outshining him. Do not be merciful. Your master had no such scruples in his own cold-blooded climb to the top. Gauge his strength. If he is weak, discreetly hasten his downfall. Outdo, outcharm, outsmart him at key moments. If he is very weak and ready to fall, let nature take its course. Do not risk outshining a feeble superior. It might appear cruel or spiteful. You think? Do not risk but if your master is firm in his position, yet you know yourself to be the more capable, bide your time and be patient. It is the natural course of things. The power eventually fades and weakens. Your master will fall someday, and if you play it right, you will outlive and someday outshine him. So my kind of interpretation of this is, I'm pretty sure what it is. It's messed up. It's like being a fake person. So what does that look like to me? And tell me what you guys think, if you're familiar. It looks like you're pretending to respect someone and learn from someone. Like even my first yoga teacher, and who I did my first yoga teacher training with, we had a falling out, but I still respect him. I still have respect for him. I celebrate him, and I'm honored that I learned from him, you know? Okay. Who's here? Hi, Monk Monty. Hi, Chris. Oh, hi, Chris Mack. Chris Mack is like becoming a thing. I named a character in my short story Agnion. Agnion? Like, what is Agnion? Agni on. Have I told you what Agni means? Terry Miller. Hi, you're very beautiful. Thank you for that compliment. Are you rich? I'm looking for a man with a lot of money. Number 2, the second law. The second. Never put too much trust in friends. I already don't like it. I'm not done. He's not done, rather. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Judgment. Be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become spoiled. I just can't read like that the whole time, right? It's not good for my neck. They also become spoiled and tyrannical. But hire a former enemy and he will be more loyal than a friend because he has more to prove. That is not true. I can tell you from experience that's not true. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. Okay, guys. I'm reading clearly, right? That's just ridiculous. It's basically, okay, my last video was kind of ridiculous. I was just throwing kind of stuff around, but it's like, really, can we talk about this? He's just like, don't make friends. If you don't have enemies, find a way to make them. And then some, like, this makes no sense. I'm gonna read it again because it doesn't make sense to me. This doesn't feel like, does anybody think this is logical? And we'll get to the judgment thing or whatever, but be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily amused to envy. Says who? Like, I don't have friends that I envy. I actually don't envy any of my friends. They also become spoiled and tyrannical. That's a big and bold statement. Your friends, that in general, become spoiled and tyrannical. That sounds like words you would apply to like a child, right? Period. End of sentence. But hire a former enemy and he will be more loyal than a friend because he has more to prove. Really depends on the enemy and the situation. I've hired more than one enemy. I'm like, has it ever worked out? I don't know. One was not really an enemy. They just did something that I didn't like. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. Okay, so then he talks about the Byzantine Empire. Michael III is brought up. Okay, keys to power. It is natural to want to employ your friends when you find yourself in time of need. The world is a harsh place, and your friends soften the harshness. Besides, you know them. Why depend on a stranger when you have a friend at hand? The problem is that you often do not know your friends as well as you imagine. Friends often agree on things in order to avoid an argument. They cover up their unpleasant qualities so as not to offend each other. They laugh extra hard at each other's jokes. Okay, let me just stop right there. I don't do that with my friends. So, okay, I'm just gonna see I'm just gonna go to like the takeaway, but sounds like you didn't have like, I don't know, what did they say? This is saying you have to be a good friend to have good friends. Sounds like maybe you weren't a good friend. Maybe that's why you had that experience, Mr. Green. If anybody knows anyone that slept with Mr. Green, I would like to bet $100 that his penis is extremely small. Just for fun. I don't know how we'd find that person, but, I don't think he's married. Like, I looked this dude up. Sorry, if I move, and my gestations and my movements are kind of very, like, me. So I have 2 books, working with books, 2 books, and, like, this handy dandy stand, but, see? I gotta be more still. Okay. Reversal. Although it is generally best not to mix work with friendship. Okay, I would like to know what you guys think about that. Like, I've owned 2 studios. I not only do I feel like you should be friends with your employees, especially my first studio, it felt like family, I think that, obviously there are people, I didn't just hire my friends, but then your employees become your friends. You know what I'm saying? In a way, like, that happened with me. There were definitely situations where that did not happen, right? Where they were just teachers there on merit and it was just like, hi, bye, sign paychecks, whatever. But I definitely wouldn't want an enemy working for me. Also, the familiarity part is important. So I had a studio in Miami Beach, and then I had a studio out here in LA. I kept the same girl that did my taxes from my studio. Big ups, EN Accounting. If you're in Miami, you should hire her, 100% staff. Her website is enaccounting.com. She's amazing. So when I opened my studio out here in LA, I was like, no, I need you. Because she has access to my bank accounts, access to my studio software, access to everything, my payroll, everything. And I'm like, she's like, Ash, I don't know California tax law. Like, you need to hire. So I did hire somebody to do California taxes and stuff. I was like, yeah, fine. But can you just do the main stuff? She got us in trouble a few times, but I take responsibility. I'll say that a different way. There were a few things. She's like, Ashley, I'm not sure if this is exactly what they want, not in trouble, like, I don't know, we got fined or whatever, it didn't matter. But to me, and still, with both studios and with probably paying like 150 to 200 and just fines because like she didn't know exactly what it was, and she was like, Ash, and like I think one time, and that's fair. I think one time I was like, can I pay you? Can you just like charge me when you have time to learn the stuff that we have to do? But it's like that's annoying as fuck for her. She's building a business in Miami, so like I saw her as working for me as like a favor, which it was. So I was like, I'll just take the hits because I trust her, and rightfully so. Anyways, I disagree up and down from actually empirical experience. That's the way to say it, right? Yeah. I want to use that word for a bit. I just disagree fully. Working with the one guy that I can tell you that I didn't trust off the bat, well, I'm not going to say his name, it doesn't matter, but that turned out to be a nightmare. Okay. Number 3. He wasn't even an enemy. He was just somebody that I was like, you know, conceal your intentions. Like, I don't feel like this is a way to like even really do business, honestly. Judgment. Keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. So just live a lie and manipulate people all the time? Cool. I don't like that advice and I wouldn't take it. If they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Okay, so already on the manipulative defensive. Guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late. So basically lie and manipulate. Doing great so far. In Sum. Oh, this one's a long one. So they have like stories and examples. If you believe that deceivers are colorful folk who misled the elaborate lies and tall tales, you are greatly mistaken. The best deceivers utilize a bland and inconspicuous front that calls no attention to themselves. They know that extravagant words and gestures immediately raise suspicion. Instead, they envelop their mark in the familiar, the banal, the harmless. In Yellow Kid Wiles dealings and Sam Giesel, the familiar was a business deal. So that's a story about something that happened in Ethiopia. You can find out about it for yourself. Basically, no smoke screen, 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 red herring, false sincerity, or any other diversionary device will succeed in concealing your intentions if you already have an established reputation for deception. Right. So don't do that. This book isn't helping people with that, by the way. And as you get older and achieve success, it often becomes increasingly difficult to disguise your cunning. Everyone knows you practice deception. Persist in playing naive, and you run the risk of seeming the rankest hypocrite. Which will severely limit your room to maneuver. It should. I should hope so. In such cases, it is better to own up. To appear the honest rogue, or better, the repentant rogue. Not only will you be admired for your frank. Are we there? Cool. Okay. Not only will you be admired for your frankness. Let me repeat that just in case, because a phone call came in and I might have gone out. And as you get older, everyone knows. Cole, did you order something? The front door rang. Okay, I think I'm back. Nope. Okay.